Hey there, Cohort 2 of the Online Course Redesign and Faculty Certification Program. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to your first Tuesday tune-in for the cohort. Tuesday tune-ins are a way for me, the instructor, to touch base with you during the week. Kind of give you a little personalization happening in our learning environment, right? You get to hear me and see me, see what kind of energy I might be bringing. As it's 3:22 in the afternoon, I'm on the downward slope of how energetic I am. I'm a morning person, so normally mornings are my best. But that being said, we're going to be coming to you each Tuesday with a couple of things. One, just a hey, how's it going? That touch base. And then we'll talk about where we've been the previous week and where we're going on the next module or week that we look at. Then we'll talk about a particular tip or tool that might be important for you as you think about teaching in a digital environment. So there you go. So I wanted to start by talking about how things roll. You saw this obviously in your course, but in the orientation, if you attend our orientations, which we will be posting those recordings. But I wanted to kind of give you a refresher about our due date cadence. So if you go into course information and access your syllabus, you can scroll all the way to the bottom and get access to the due dates. Our due dates fall on Thursdays and Sundays. So, for example, this Thursday is going to be that quick pre-assessment in the Start Here module, your introduced discussion, and then that just one question Start Here check-in. Remember, the check-ins are kind of like your gateways to the next module. You have to complete them in order to get to the next module. So that's how that works. But remember that's what happens. That's Start Here. That's due on Thursday. Then Sunday, you will have your first due date for Module 1. And that is the activities that are listed there at that point. Now, that being said, we are hitting a holiday after that. So just know that the 1st through 5th, you got nothing going on. Just know that you could actually technically get your module 1 in on the 7th, and no one's going to take away your birthday, obviously. But if you don't want to get it done by the 30th. But that being said, there will be nothing due during the 4th of July week. We took that week off for you, so you can just, if you have class during the day, except for the one day that everyone has off, that's fine. But anyway, we're still giving you that week off to hang out and have a good time and maybe focus on something else. But I digress. So Sundays, our Thursdays and Sundays are our due date cadence. And I say cadence because that's how it happens throughout the course. Just Thursdays and Sundays. Now, what I want to tell you is that we do the due dates so that you can see when things are due, obviously, and also see how your students see when things are due and how that might work for them. In this case, if you don't make a due date, we're obviously not going to fail you, so don't stress about that. We would like for you to stay kind of in the same rhythm as the rest of your colleagues, but we all have busy lives and things happen on occasion. So don't stress about it. We are going to send out reminders if you don't access the course. Don't stress about those. We're showing you practices that you can do with your own students. So keep that in mind. So that being said, I hope that that's helpful for you. I now want to talk to you a little bit about our tip for this week. And that is progress tracking. One of the neatest features in the Ultra environment for instructors and honestly for students too, is that it allows you to get a feel for where your students have clicked in the course. And it allows your students to keep track of where they've been in the course. I like to think of progress tracking as a to-done list. Not a to-do list, but a to-done list. Things that I've looked at, things that I've finished, right? So let's talk about that in the guise of a student. So I have my student preview mode on right now, and I want to show you how progress tracking works in two ways. One is if in content that isn't in a learning module where I don't have forced sequential viewing, meaning they have to start with the first thing, move to the second thing, then move to the third thing, and move to the fourth thing. And then where I have content that's not in forced sequential viewing. So in this instance, the folder up at the top of the screen does not do forced sequential viewing because it isn't part of a module that has it turned on. So as a student, I've clicked on it. I noticed that I have actually clicked here before. I've clicked on the folder to open it up. I've also clicked in the syllabus. that just signifies for me, the student, that I have clicked on it, that I have accessed this, right? So I know that I've at least looked at it once. If I want to say to myself, okay, I've looked at this stuff and I've finished it, I would click it one more time. And it just puts a green check mark right there, right? Again, same thing with the 24/7 support desk. I could click on it, open it up, and there it is. And there's the content. Close it. Notice it tells me now that I clicked on it. I could click it again. Now, the reason why you're navigating this as a student in this folder, it doesn't have the paid paginated navigation because it's in a folder. But it's just quick access to information. So I'm going to click here on Find Your Instructional Designer. It opens up a tab so you can learn how to email the instructional design team. I'm going to click that. And then lastly is the virtual office discussion forum. All it is a non-graded place for you to ask us questions, and we'll check it daily during the week. I've looked at it. I'm going to go ahead and mark it as complete. Now, when I do that, note that it also marks the folder as complete. So as a student, I know that I've looked at everything in this folder, that I have accessed it, right? That I can check it off my list. It's my to-done list. So that's how it looks when I interact as a student with content where I'm not forced to go through it sequentially. Now, your modules in this course are all for sequential viewing because we want you to go through the content in a specific order, right? So notice how that affects a couple of things. First, as a student, it gives me a very intuitive way to know how to get access to things. I notice there's a big start button here, and it tells me that I haven't started the unit. Well, that's kind of nice. I could technically still click on the unit and open it up to see the things that I want to click on, but note that I can't click on any of the things later on until I get through the first thing, right? And I could just click here to start, but I'm going to go through and click the start button. It then automatically opens up the first bit of content from start here that I move through, right? I scroll all the way through. Note when I scroll that my navigation is still up at the top right-hand side. It doesn't open until I get to the bottom. So I'm going to go to the bottom of my navigation, and you'll see once I do that, that my navigation opens up for me and I can click next. Now, I'm going to get out of this to show you what it's doing for me thus far. So I'm going to click X, and now I want you to see that I have completed one of 4. I have looked at in black another one of 4. So essentially I've done 2 of the 4 things, and then I have a couple things here in gray that I haven't done. Now, if I come back to it and hit continue, the neat thing about progress tracking for the student is that it allows them to go exactly to where they need to go. This is the next thing on their list. So, okay, I need to do this pre-assessment. Remember, the pre-assessment's just kind of how we can get a gauge on where you are in terms of digital teaching and learning. So I'll come in here and I'm going to say pre-assessment submitted, and I'm going to click out of it. So I click in the box first, click out of it, and then come down and hit submit. And it says, are you sure? And I say, yes, I'm sure, by golly. I'm going to hit close. And it now says, okay, Jacob, let's go to the next thing. Let's go to your discussion. I will do that. And now I'm in my discussion topic. I could come in and put a test and then hit respond. And you'll note that up on the right-hand side, I now have access to click next to the check-in. I will click that. And along the way, each one of these things that I've done, I'm going to come back out for just a second. Along the way, because it's using forced sequential viewing, it has checked off these things for me as they are done, as I've looked through them, because they're forcing me to go through them. I don't have to go back as the student and check it a second time. So it's a neat, kind of less clicking involved for the student when you do that sequential view. Lastly is the start here check-in. I do start attempt, and I go down and say, yes, I've read everything, which allows me then to submit the attempt. It says, Jacob, you've done it. Here's your receipt. That's exciting. It then says, okay, you're done. I can close it. Now, when I do, the first thing you'll notice is that it says completed 4 out of 4, but then it opens up the next module. So that is what progress checking looks like from the student side. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint of how cool this is from the instructor side and what I like about it. So I'm going to hit discard and get all that extra studenty stuff that I stuck in the course. And I'm going to take us to another course, a healthy eating course, mind you. And I'm going to go to my analytics up at the top of my course, this analytics tab right there, right? It allows me to see some things. Right now, I can get a scatter plot view of course activity. I can get a list view of course activity where it shows my students, right? And then as I click on a student, let's look at Ava Taylor. When I look at Ava Taylor, I get her holistic view of that course. I then see that I have some tabs: grades, progress, and notes. So I can look at the things that Ava has submitted in the course. I can then look at where she's clicked. So I'll click on progress. Now progress tracking, I can look and see, okay, she has not looked at these. Oh, she has looked at those. And I can open it up and get an idea of what she's looked at inside of each one of the units, right? So I know what she started, what she's completed, all of that good stuff in the course based on that progress tracking. So I hope that helps. I hope that that little tip for you talking about what progress tracking does can be beneficial in your own teaching practice. And I look forward to learning with you as you continue to progress through the program. We're super excited to have you. I know it's the summer. I know our schedules are all higgledy-piggledy. For me, I'm going on vacation Thursday of this week. But the team will still be interacting, and we'll still be taking a look at how everything's going. It'll be myself, Elliot, and Faith will be interacting with you in terms of feedback for the course and fun stuff like that. So if you have any technical issues during this, let's say for instance that you're trying to do a check-in and you can't get that little text box at the bottom to open so you can type in your text, call the support desk. It's open 24/7 and they can help you with stuff like that. Thank you so much for taking part. We look forward to learning from you, or along with you. Have a great rest of your day.